This is a quick recording on polar coordinates, and I was just going to go through a few examples so that hopefully you can understand and we can get started tomorrow on working some problems. So the first thing we're going to do is just some graphing of points. So example 1, 2, and 3 are just going to be plotting points. The first example we have is a radius of 7 at an angle at 5 pi over 4. So what I'm going to do is first find 5 pi over 4, which is right there. And then I'm just going to draw out 7 of these radiuses. So let me see if I can do that real quick. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there it is. There's our first polar coordinate, 7, 5 pi over 4. All right, number 2. Same kind of thing, except for the radius has a negative in front of it, which just means that we're going to go backwards instead of forward. So we're going to still make a radius of 8 units. We're going to start at 5 pi over 6, but then we're going to end up going backwards. So 5 pi over 6 is right here. What we would like to do is go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that would be if it was positive 8, but it's not positive 8. So we're going to take these and go backwards. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that will be our second. A radius of 8 going backwards from 5 pi over 6. Alright, and now we're going to go to the third one, and that's going to be a radius of 8 again at 11 pi over 6. So 11 pi over 6 is going to put us right here. And then we're going to draw a radius of 8 units, which I'll do right here, which is going to put me right on top of problem number 2, which is the point that I kind of wanted to make with number 2 and 3, and that is that polar coordinates are not unique. There is an infinite number of ways to write any point on our polar curve, as we saw on number 2 and 3. Okay, so now we're going to convert points from one system to the next. So on this next example, we're going to convert rectangular point 8, 5 to the polar coordinate. Oops. Sorry, I had a fight with my iPad. Alright, so 8, 5 is right here. Still struggling, hang on. 8, 5 is right here. And in order to convert this point to polar, I need to know what the radius is and what the angle is. Well, to figure out the radius, I'm just going to use Pythagorean theorem. And this is 8, and this is 5. And I'm going to come over here and figure out my radius by using the Pythagorean theorem. So my radius is going to be 64 square root, and I'm going to get the square root of 89. All right, now, excuse me, to find the theta, I'm just going to notice that I can do a tangent inverse of the opposite over the adjacent. And if I put that on my calculator, whoops, 5 divided by 8, I get 32 degrees. So now I can write that this rectangular point, 8, 5, is the same spot on in space as the square root of 89, comma 32 degrees. The next problem I'm going to do, we're going to go from polar back to rectangular. All right, so now on this problem we have got a polar point, -9, comma 4 pi over 3, and we want to switch that to rectangular. So the first thing I need to do is go to 4 pi over 3, which is right here. Oops. So 4 pi over 3 is right here. And instead of drawing a radius 9 units coming this direction, we're going to do 9 units going in the opposite direction. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That'll put me right here. So we know that's 9 units long. And we know this angle right now that we get is going to be 60 degrees. So I'm actually taking this point 9 comma 60, or we can write it as 9 comma pi over 3, and I need to switch that to x comma y. Well, if you look at your triangle there, we know that the cosine of my angle is the adjacent side, and the adjacent on this one is x, so it's going to be adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 9, or we can say x equals 9 cosine of 60. The cosine of 60, well, I'm just going to put it on my calculator real quick, and I'm going to get 4.5. And the same thing goes with the y value. If I use the sine, I know the sine of 60 is the opposite, and the opposite on this one is my y value. So that'll be y over 9. Or I can just say y equals 9 times the sine of 60. And if I put that on my calculator, I'm going to get 7.8 about. So now we can say that this point, -9 comma 4 pi over 3, is the same as 4.5 comma 7.8. Hope this makes some sense. Make sure you write down any questions that you might have, and tomorrow in class we'll start working on this stuff. Hope you have a good night.